The final technology I want to talk about is CNN Student News. So this is a current events website for students. I know a lot of English teachers like to do current events, and we usually have like a weekly current event page that we do with our students. And so this website is nice because they've aligned their news stories to the Common Core, and it helps students stay informed on what's going on in the world, what's going on in our country, what's going on in the world, because a lot of times they just tend to live in their own little bubbles, which is fine. They're young. I did when I was in high school, but we like them to be informed. So if you click on CNN Student News, it'll take you to the webpage. I will say the one downfall about this is that it's very easy to leave the student news page and suddenly find yourself at CNN, which is not necessarily a terrible thing because it does get them into the rest of the news. But it's pretty much this one limited space. But what you can see is it'll pull up and they've basically selected events that they feel are pressing and they've created, so you can see this logo where it says Student CNN News. That's how you know that this is made specifically for the classroom. And they have a use for middle or high school classrooms, so it's not recommended for elementary. And they also say it's a good idea for you to preview as well, just to make sure that this is going to be fitting for your classroom. And you can look down here, they have the show archive. So if I want to go on that, I can look at all the different shows that they've done. And they do it looks like they come out with a new one pretty frequently. So let's wait for this archive to pull up. And here we go. So, I mean, just pretty much, if not every day, every other day. So the 18th, 21st, 22nd. So you have quite a lot to select from, and which is like news. So they're going to be selecting the things that they think are most pressing, things that either might be interesting to students or things they feel like students should be kept aware of. I've seen some articles on the presidential election, which the students are always eager to talk about. However, you might want to use discretion as an educator depending on the climate of your classroom. But here we have news about a lot of news about the war overseas, about the refugees. You can see there's the president. Here's an election piece, more election pieces. So let's do this driving while distracted. I want to talk about this one. So you can select the video you want to show your students. And what is nice is that they have a video, but then they also have a transcript. So that's nice as well with the students. So if they don't quite catch everything in the video, which I find a lot of my students don't or aren't able to because maybe they're sort of paying attention or maybe the person is speaking too quickly, you can click on that transcript and access that so that they can follow along with the news report. Oh, this is what's going on. And down here, they also make a note that they follow Common Core standards. So here it is, driving, dangers of distracted driving. And it tells you, all right, so here's who's speaking. Will be all in caps. And here's what it tells you what's going on for the transcript. So you might want to familiarize them with how to read a video transcript. But once they get the hang of it, it'll be pretty easy to follow along. So, and then what's nice too is it tells you who's speaking. So if you want to ask them questions and tell them who's speaking, they can go back to the transcript and figure that out because they probably are not going to remember just by a quick watch of the video. So you can go back. And then here's your video. And so you can play that and show it to them. And so it could be a way like maybe we used to do Media Monday. So a way to kind of get them into current events could be a good bell ringer activity. But I think that's one thing that students are lacking is that they are not always up to date with what's going on in the world or they're not fully informed. So this is a great website that can just kind of keep them in, and it's been student approved.